My dear friend, Fani Willis is got big problems that are not necessarily connected to anything you thought before. A fourth Georgia State Senate Investigation Committee hearing has been impaneled as part of its probe into the alleged misconduct by the entitled and arrogant one, Fani Willis. It's underway, my friends. It's going on. The Senate Special Committee on Investigations, chaired by Republican State Senator Bill Cowsert, will consider under sworn testimony the allegations advanced from a witness, Amanda Timpson. Amanda served as Willis's director of juvenile diversion programs, but she says she was demoted and eventually fired. She says and claims and avers under oath that her termination was after she became a whistleblower. This is called retaliation, and complained about the misuse of funds. How glorious. Ms. Timpson testified that she was subject to, quote, overwhelming retaliation. That's critical of the whistleblower statute, the qui tam legislation. Overwhelming retaliation and pushback after she told and notified and put on notice her boss, the one in direct contact with her, that Fani's office was knowingly, actually, intentionally misusing federal grant funds, which, of course, is illegal. So Timpson then helped to write and apply for a competitive grant focused on programming to help at-risk youth and for youth programs and the like. She testified that when Fani took office in 2021, this is after she and Nathan had done, whatever, her new supervisor, a man by the name of Michael Cuffey, told her he planned to use the funds, get this, to purchase computers, travel, and swag. Doesn't that sound familiar? It's almost like an inherent thing kind of in this, as part of the office's rebranding. The rebranding, they called it. And they say, oh, no. When Ms. Timpson then informed her boss that purchases that were made and contemplated were not permitted, allowed, or provided for under the grant, he persisted in his plans for the purchases. He told Timpson that Fani requires all her staff to refer to her as Madam, you not. And that the swag and the other accoutrement stuff and other purchases were Willis's vision. It gets even better. Timpson then alleged that after serving in the previous DA's office, she was required to interview again, which is okay. That happened with Willis's new administration to keep her job in December 2020. Now, Nathan Wade, lover boy, the garage door lover, who roughly a year later would be hired as special prosecutor for some particular reason, was on Ms. Timpson's interview panel, along with Fani and her communications official, Jeff DeSantis. Interesting name. Now, Georgia's Senate is run by the GOP. And in January, they voted to form a special committee to investigate Fani and others amid revelations of her romantic with Mr. Wade. Fani is, of course, spearheading the 2020 election interference case and racketeering case against soon-to-be reelected President Trump. She has been the focus of criticism from every angle you can imagine since the allegations were made that she had an improper, of how dare you, an improper affair with Mr. Wade, whom she had hired to prosecute. Now, she is not expected to testify today and has been previously called the committee unlawful. This is Fani. Unlawful. Though the committee has indeed subpoena power to compel her testimony. Isn't that good? This is unlawful. Good, Fani. Good. See, this arrogance. Amazing. Previous state Senate committee hearings indicate and reveal that oversight of Willis's $36 million budget was like, quote, the Wild West. Very little control, according to Cowsert, the senator. Now, at a hearing earlier this month, Fulton County Commissioner Rob Pitts and Fulton County Chief Financial Officer Sharon Whitmore both testified that Fani has extremely broad discretion over those taxpayer dollars, including whether to hire a special prosecutor and how much they should be paid. Quote, you don't know how much of that is spent on professional services, who is hired, how much they're paid per hour, and their total compensation, or what their total compensation is. Yet, you're being asked to provide $36.6 million a year that you know encompasses a number of those types of independent contractors that you know you're funding with no oversight or control. Right? Right? This is what Mr. Cowsert asked Whitmore at one point. Right? Pitts also then testified that Fani did not have to get any pre-approval for hiring an independent counsel to assist with her activities. Now, the great, the incredible, the wonderful Ashley Merchant, who is Mr. Roman's lawyer, testified at the committee's first hearing that that Willis was awarded $780,000. A $780,000 increase in the DA's budget on September the 15th, 2021, through the end of the year, with the next year to exceed $5 million. Turns out the budget increase was just roughly about a few months before Mr. Wade happened to be hired in November of 2021, and roughly 8 months before the special grand jury in the case was impaneled. Isn't that glorifying? So what's happening right now is, and this is the most important thing, this is what everybody needs to understand. This woman is in such deep shite, you can't believe it. She, on one hand, for President Trump, who will be reelected, by the way, historically, for him, I want her to stay on because she's so incompetent and is such a rube, and so, and I mean that, and so entitled and arrogant that she, okay. Then again, I'd want to see her completely dismantled and disqualified from this, because without this case, she's nothing. The Georgia Democratic Party is going to say, enough with this. We're done with you. We don't want to hear your name. You have done nothing but sully, tarnish, and smudge the reputation of our committee. And we were supposedly in the running. You are a pariah. You are a third rail. You are this absolute horror. We don't want you anywhere near us. Fani, we don't want you near us. So be gone. That's what's going to happen. And it's glorious. All 4 cases will fall apart regarding President Trump, all 4 criminal cases. And specifically, the latest one be the New York case, which after Dusty Saddles and Michael Cohen, but for the most part, I'm torn because I want there to be, I so want there to be this sense of, I want there to be this, for lack of a better word, this termination, this cessation, this expunction of Fani. But then again, at the same time, for the benefit of the president, the longer she stays on, the better it is. Because she reeks and drips of incompetence. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. What do you think, dear friends? Please do me a favor. Please watch, subscribe, like the video. Hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, I beg, beseech, import you, and ask you, dear friends, to comment as you see fit.